Hello,
We're
YouTube.
live.
Oh, my little butterflies.
They're so cute.
Oh. Okay.
Welcome back to the Authentic Souls podcast. We are so happy you're here today.
Hope you're having a great week. I know we are. We just got back from a long-ass road trip.
2-week road trip. So happy to be back home and grounded again.
I know. It's so funny because we both lived on the road. Like before the pandemic, we were both gone all the freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
And like halfway through this trip, I was like, I can't wait to be back.
I was actually surprised how comfortable I was not being at home because I was like terrified to not be home.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm so like comfy here. But actually I like kind of got back into it and I was like, oh, it is nice to be out in the world.
Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah. I like little stints.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My little Sagittarius self was like, ooh, we're out in the world again. Fun.
I know. It's very interesting. I feel like I'm so into the things we're working on right now that routine allows me to like keep on top of everything.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So when I'm out in the world, it's like it's really fun, but also I think about like all these commitments I've made to myself, and like it's harder to get them done. I remember when I was living on the road, living out of Dylan's van and bouncing back from Slow to Santa or to Half Moon Bay, wherever I was, it was like so hard to stay consistent with things.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know, I feel that. I was like, I think the thing I was most nervous about is I have 4 different jobs, basically. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be on the road, but I'm still going to get everything done. Like, I got this. Like, whew. And I mean, I did it, but you definitely do fall behind on a few things.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
And I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. It's like,
I know, because we were so busy the whole time. Like, we were fully booked the whole time we were gone. So.
And I talk to Dylan, my boyfriend, and be like, all right, you have 5 minutes. And then I got to get back to whatever I'm doing. Like, I literally don't have any downtime. Except when we did have downtime, we were just like vegging out and watching hours of TV.
Yeah.
What was that one show we started?
I think we watched Too Hot to Handle while we were
Too Hot to Handle. But
oh, and then 20 Somethings Austin was the other one that we watched.
I still wasn't thinking of that one.
Okay, we watched
Shrill.
Oh, Shrill. That was a good one.
That probably sounded really awful in your ears when I said that the first time. I heard it in my ears and I was like, wow, you're shrilling. Shrilling?
Shrilling. Don't be so shrill, Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good. No, we did watch a lot of shows, I guess. We also, what else did we do?
we had no time at all. We're like,
we only watched like 3 seasons of like reality TV, but other than that, we were so busy, you guys. No time to ourselves.
Oh my gosh. No, I think that was it. Good times. Yeah, friend I was catching up with a friend earlier, and she's like telling me about all the crazy wild stuff going on in her life, and I'm like, yeah, life's pretty consistent right now, and like I'm super okay with that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like when you get older, like boring is more fun.
Yeah.
Or not boring, but just like, the same old every day. It's just like you're more okay with that. Or in my early 20s, I was like, I fought everything to not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to have just like this crazy, interesting, everything's different everyday life. And I'm still like that, but it's nice to just consistency. Something about it. When you almost hit 30, you're like, ooh, I like that.
Ooh, I like it. I like the life I've built, and I want to go back and live it. All right. Well, today, since you clicked on this episode, you know that what we're talking about already. It is Pisces energy, Pisces season.
I just have fallen in love with these astrology episodes. They're so fun to me, and especially we were talking about how some of these we don't know as well, so we get to do all this research, and I'm like, I feel like I learned so much and I can't wait to share it.
Yeah.
Like I'm so enlightened about what Pisces energy is all about. Yeah,
I know. This one's very, Pisces are, I feel like, very nuanced. It's like not super clear.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into all of that. So it's like I knew the vibe of a Pisces and like the Pisces energy, but like to have to write it down, I'm like, okay, like
they're clear about it.
Yeah, like we're gonna talk about they're very go with the flow and like even keeled, and like they want to make sure other people are comfortable around them, so they're not going to like assert themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that sense, their energy,
it's more subtle.
It's a lot more subtle.
Yeah, agreed. Well, didn't we eventually find out that you are part Pisces?
I'm part Pisces. I am Pisces rising.
And you didn't know that for the longest time, right? What did you think you were?
I went through a whole, oh my gosh, this was I mean, if you're into astrology and you take it seriously, it can be a little traumatic when your sign changes and you're like, excuse me, what? So I took a lot of pride for years because I thought if you don't know the exact time you were born, that can change your rising sign really easily. So you want to know your exact time when you put in your birth chart and you figure all of that out, because if you just like estimate or guesstimate, this is what can happen to you.
You can spend your whole life thinking you're someone you're not.
I thought my mom had me at 8:50 p.m. So my chart told me for years that I was a Libra rising, and I took so much pride in that. And I was like, I'm so balanced. I'm so aesthetically pleasing. I'm so all these things. And then later on, she told me another time that still wasn't correct. And I was a Scorpio rising. And
she just kept changing her mind. She was like, oh, actually.
100%. And then that really...
you didn't resonate with that.
I did not resonate with that. And I was like, what? Scorpio rising?
Yeah.
Like
that's intense.
I mean, I know I'm intense, but like, I think that's more like my Leo.
Yeah.
That's not Scorpio.
Yeah.
And then you made me a book was that my birthday last year? And it had all you needed my birth chart, you need my time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask for my birth and my, what's it called?
The documents, like your birth certificate.
My birth certificate. I was like, give me the proof, Mom.
I don't believe you.
And it said 8:53 a.m.
Oh, which makes so much more sense because you were, I feel like, more of a morning person than a night person.
Yeah. I mean, I can morph and change. Dylan really makes me a morning person because that boy cannot sleep in.
Yeah.
But so I'm actually a Pisces rising.
Which made you, when you learned that, you were like, this makes so much more sense. And then we even laughed about the fact, because we were just saying, like, we used to live our lives on the road, like we were not very grounded, we were all over the place. And you're like, oh wait, I'm not very balanced.
Yeah, I was like, actually,
this makes a lot of sense.
I have 0 Libra in my chart, and that makes total sense.
And the Pisces, like, as we get into the Pisces energy, it makes so much more sense for you.
My mermaid self.
Yeah, you're a little like sensitive mermaid.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. See, it definitely resonates.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I wrote down just for my own notes, was like, Pisces have such a mermaid energy. Like, I think you think of any Pisces, and they just have like this watery, magical side to them.
Agreed. Yeah. So Pisces season starts February 18th. It's going to last until March 20th. Water sign, like we were saying, mermaid energies. They're a water sign. The fun thing about this, and it may not make a lot of sense since we kind of like started at a weird place in the zodiac chart, but this is actually the last sign in the chart. So we were saying it's going to be kind of subtle. It's because it kind of encompasses like all of the energy from a lot of the other signs. It's kind of like the final sign. So that's kind of, I think, why it can be kind of hard to pin down.
Yeah, it holds the wisdom of all the other signs. All the lessons you've learned in the past 12 months.
Yeah.
They just you kind of come back and you reflect and you sit in it. And
that's the big thing I kept coming back to, is like, this is a time of reflection. Like, if you don't remember anything else from this episode, this is your time to reflect. It's not necessarily like in Capricorn, we're like, go, go, go. And then Aquarius, we're like very like in our heads, very intellectual. And now we're going to really get into our body and we're going to feel, we're going to reflect.
I love that.
We're going to be more in our body. And then it's not as much about doing. It's just like,
and I love that you're using the word reflect, because it's a water sign.
I love
so like
that.
your reflection in the water. Oh my god.
We're just going to stare at ourselves in the water. And anyway.
Basically, as a mermaid does.
I know that and it's such a dreamy sign. Very like Pisces energy is very like compassionate, empathetic, like so much like love, and very like a very sensitive soul, because like I said, they're feeling everything. So I think this is a time, I know for me, I'm not a huge feeler. Surprise, surprise. So for me, it's going to be a reminder to like really embrace any feelings that come up. And I think for Pisces, it's not about like, Aquarius would be like, oh, let me like intellectualize these feelings. Like, where are they coming from? Why am I feeling this? Which is very much me. But Pisces is like, no, you just gotta sit and you gotta just feel them.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything other than experience the feelings. So let them flow through you like water. And yeah, see what comes up for you. Don't be afraid of the feelings. The sign of Pisces, they're very deep. They can be very like almost intense sometimes. It is the 12th sign in the zodiac. So this is in the scope of the zodiac. When you look at it being the ending, it's the oldest sign. So that's why it holds so much wisdom. It's the elder, it's the wise one. Looks back on your year that you've had and just kind of contemplates and sits with the wisdom that you've carried and gained over the past 12 months.
Totally. And the sign is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, and the combination of those, like, it's a very like spiritual energy. Like during this time, you may kind of feel, if you're not already, like you want to get in touch with your more like spiritual side. And so that's like a good time to kind of embrace that, like bring out your oracle cards or do something kind of like that because like the veil is thin during this time. So don't be afraid to like play with that side of things.
Tap into whatever spiritual modalities you are interested in. Maybe it's just going out in nature and feeling really connected with the trees, with the wind, with the water.
So I had a very Pisces day today and I didn't even realize it. So Pisces is all about like being spontaneous. Like you said, going with the flow is like a big one that keeps coming up. And I had like my day all planned out today. I wasn't excited about it because it was like a lot of work. And my friend Mel reached out to me and she's like, do you want to go on a hike today? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be spontaneous. I'm going to embrace the energy of the season. Like, let's go fucking do it. First of all, I realized as we're on the hike that she's a Pisces, which is so amazing. And so I was like, all right, Mel. I was like, you're a Pisces. In your opinion, what is Pisces energy all about? And she was like, it's about going with the flow and it's about following your intuition. And I was like, okay, so you just summed up all of my podcast notes. So that's all I need to say. And then the episode is done.
So yeah, just go with the flow, follow your intuition, and you'll be good to go. I mean, and it's funny that intuition keeps coming up because that was last week's episode.
That's like for like intuition queens, like listen to your intuition, go, go, go. We're like cheering you on like every episode. It's like, and listen to your intuition.
I know.
But yeah, this is like we said, it's like it's a time where you're more connected to like the deeper parts of yourself. So obviously intuition is definitely involved with that. So
yeah. Like you said, the veil will be thinner. So, and I know you mentioned this earlier, the subconscious will be easier to tap into. If you have any kind of internal dialogue that's been, calling out to you, maybe this is time to kind of tap into that and see what's going on there.
Yeah, it may be clearer during this time if you've kind of had a hard time getting in tune with that. Like, just like try it out. If you don't know how to do that, listen to last week's episode all about intuition. And these two episodes are just going to go really nicely together.
Seriously, it's so funny. Yeah, the Pisces energy is very deep. Like they go to the deepest parts of your soul. If you know a Pisces, you know that I feel like Pisces eyes are always really magnetic and they'll like look into your eyes on like another level where you're like, whoa, this can be really intense, but also it feels really nice to be seen this deeply. And it's just because they encompass that energy of the wisdom and the deep nature of life and understanding how sacred life is and magical. Like we said, there's a lot of mysticism that goes along with this energy of just understanding that life is as magical as we make it. And that's why I'm like, they're literally mermaid people because they are from another world,
Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of like nurturing energy too. Like almost like mom energy, because they're going to like take care of you. They're going to be really in tune with how you're feeling. Like they're very empathetic. So if like you're feeling a certain way, they're going to like kind of pick up on that and kind of be like, okay, how can we help this? So I feel like it's, very maternal nurturing energy as well.
Yeah. That maternal energy really comes into play with Cancer, but which will be not until this summer. But they're definitely, they put others before themselves, and that can be to their detriment sometimes because they won't look out for themselves. They never want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
They always want to make sure like I said, other people are comfortable, that they're doing okay, that they can help you in whatever way they can. How can I make your experience more enjoyable?
Totally. Yeah. And if you are kind of feeling that energy of like really giving to others during this time, just make sure you're setting those boundaries and you're taking care of yourself and you're not just giving. And then like make sure yourself is getting taken care of in the mix as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Empathy, compassion, unconditional love. Like they will love on you forever because that's who they are. They don't want to cause waves. They don't want to cause disruption. They want, and again, I mean, we'll get into like the unbalanced side of Pisces, but this can easily lead to becoming passive and like not speaking up for when they feel something because they don't want to disrupt others around them. But for the most part, like you said, it's just very go with the flow, even keeled. Sometimes can be highly emotional.
Yeah, I was gonna say like deeply sensitive. Like they're gonna be feeling a lot all the time. So they're gonna, again, if you're acting a certain way, they're gonna pick up on that. They're just kind of picking up on other people's cues, I feel like.
Yeah.
And they're gonna like really like sit on, like if there's like an icky feeling, they're gonna really feel that deeply. Yeah.
They're easy to get along with. They're very adaptable. They like change. If you listen to the Tessa Tadlock episode, that's a Pisces, we know.
Oh, I didn't know Tessa was a Pisces.
Tessa's a Pisces.
I think we asked her, but I forgot.
Yeah. So, and I one thing that stuck out to me is that she's like, I love change. And then when I was researching the sign, I was like, it makes so much sense because she's a little Pisces.
Yeah, because when you're going with the flow, like it doesn't matter what change happens around you because you're just like, oh, I'm doing this now. It's not like there's this like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
So that's like the beauty of that kind of energy. Yeah.
Could be comfortable in all the moments.
Totally. Another kind of theme that kept coming up was like romance, like very romantic. And so you can kind of take this into your own life, either building relationships that you already have or like cultivating new. It doesn't necessarily have to be like romantic, like a lover, but it could be, you could take that into your friendships as well. But that's like a big theme of this season.
Yeah. Tapping into the deepest parts of your soul, like I said. You know, they can be very euphoric, very angelic. I feel like Valentine's Day should be in a Pisces season.
I was literally just thinking that. I'm like, that's so weird that it's like such a romance sign, but it's like a week off. Yeah. Because it's such fucking Hallmark missed out on that one.
Seriously. Yeah. Why? Yeah, literally Hallmark. They should have like, consulted with an astrologer before they picked their date because it's literally a week. They could like kind of sense the vibes. They were like, how about the 14th when it should have been like the 18th? Yeah. Like 4 days off. Yeah. Because literally it's like all about the connection and celebrating love and just like sitting in that ooey gooey lovey-dovey feeling.
Yeah. So that doesn't have to end on the 14th.
Yeah.
If you have a lover, you have someone, just keep loving on them.
We declare February 18th, the first day of Pisces season, the new Valentine's Day. You heard it here first.
I say about the new Valentine's Day is just all of Pisces season. It's just lasts a whole month long.
Yeah, we better tell our boyfriends that.
Yeah.
So actually,
so you're not celebrating Pisces season with me? Like, where are my flowers?
Every day. Where's my present every day?
Yeah, it's like a Hanukkah situation. Where it's like every day you get a little gift.
I'd be down.
Yeah, we're making this a thing.
So funny.
I'd say like this. I picture like someone who's like a daydreamer. Pisces, like very much like daydreaming energy to the point where kind of similar but different to an Aquarius, where you can get like caught up in those where you like aren't super present, so you have to be careful. But I think that as far as like we talk a lot about manifesting and like the different stages of manifesting, like this is the stage where you do kind of just get to sit and dream and wonder and like, you don't necessarily have to take those steps yet. You do eventually, but this is kind of like just that phase where you can kind of like have fun with it. Like, what do you want? What do you desire? Like, what do you want the next phase of your life to look like?
Like you were saying before, I think we were recording, you were saying that, Aquarius is all about being in your head. And now Pisces is about being in your emotions. So it's kind of like bringing it down a level from your head space, your mind, down to your body and really feeling it. And then, what's next is fire. So then I think you really, we'll go into that. We'll go into that next. Aries. Oh, I love an Aries. But yeah, so right now it's just embracing the feeling, the emotion, feeling up. Wow. Filling yourself up with the emotion of what it's going to be like to manifest the things that you want next, and just really sitting with that. But like, I think this is a perfect time to go into like the unbalanced side of things. And when you are sitting in those emotions and those feelings for too long, you can become detached. And similar with, again, same thing with an Aquarius, you can just kind of like be la 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 in dreamland.
Like literally like head in the clouds, like feet not attached to the earth at all. So you still got to keep yourself grounded.
Yeah.
You can still like daydream and be in your head a little bit, but make sure you're staying grounded. You're not getting caught up. Make sure, like, a lot that can happen with this is like, because it's like the energy of feeling, if those feelings are icky, you could kind of turn to things to make you feel better, which is fine in when you're not doing it all the time, but it can be like, that's where addiction stems from, and where you're like constantly using these other things outside of yourself to kind of like numb all the feeling, because it's like too much feeling. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. And I do think addiction is no, I guess it's related to more like the Neptune energy, because they are based in like imagination, otherworldly spaces, and like being in like different dimensions, and literally you can just want to space out and kind of detach from this reality. So I think, being aware, everything in moderation.
Right. Exactly.
I also think Pisces energy, embraces substances, because they're all about, the imagination and seeing where you can go with your mind and your emotions, and, wanting to tap into other feelings that maybe you can't experience just in a sober lifestyle. But, everything in moderation, like we said, because
making sure that you're not letting that dream world take over your reality.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, fun little trip, but then you come back, it's like a vacation. Like, you can't stay in vacation land forever. Like, you got to come home.
That's why they call it a trip. Wink, wink.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So another trait with the Pisces energy is, they can love so intensely that it can almost become overwhelming for others. They can start to feel like smothered by your love. You can, like we were saying, is valuing how other people are feeling and making sure other people are comfortable, to the point where you're not even checking in on yourself. And you can be putting all your priority and energy into another person, rather than, really looking at what you need yourself. I know I've definitely felt that before, where it takes a while, especially like in the beginning of a new relationship, where you're like, oh, I'm so obsessed with this person, and I'm going to do whatever they need and whatever they ask. And then at some point you're like, oh, wait, I need to like recheck in with myself and see what I need.
Yeah. Like finding your independence in those situations, and not just putting all of your energy. Because like you said, also, it's like, it's the other person wants to feel independent. Like, no one you love attention, but no one likes to be like
smothered,
or like, it's like, go focus on yourself. Like, it's attractive in the other person. It's like, I'm gonna go do my own thing, you're like, yeah, like, go do it, but if they're like hyper focused on you all the time, it's like, go get a hobby or something. Like, get out of here.
Get out of here. Shoo. Oh my gosh, so true.
And also because of that, because they have a tendency to do that, just setting boundaries. I think I said this before, but just making sure that you're not letting other people take advantage of that energy. Like, if people pick up on the fact that you'll give, don't let people take advantage of that, because people will like pick up on the fact that you'll just do anything for them and not focus on yourself. So making sure you're setting boundaries, making sure you're like surrounding yourself with people that respect your boundaries also.
People are like, oh, well. And a lot of the times I think it's subconscious. Other people are intentionally being like, I'm gonna prey on you forever. It's like, if you just keep saying yes, people are gonna be like, oh,
well, she loves
it. So she loves giving.
I'm gonna keep asking. Yeah.
And if you have a Pisces friend or a Pisces in your life, be aware of this, that sometimes they don't have the strength within themselves to be like, no, I can't. Because I have one Pisces friend, and I can think of right now, where she is just so kind and so giving, to the point where like I can read it all over her that she's overwhelmed, and she's not going to say that she is, and she's just going to keep going and keep pushing through, even though I'm like, yo, it's okay not to go to that thing, or not to be able to show up for that person, because that's what they love, is showing up for others. So they feel like they're like disappointing people when they say no. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes and take care of yourself.
Make sure that cup is full, but before you're pouring glasses for everyone else out of that.
True.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then sometimes, I think they feel so much and they have so many emotions coming up that, an unbalanced part of Pisces would be, feeling like you can't fully express yourself. Feeling like, again, where you're protecting others over yourself, where you're thinking about how others are going to react to what you have to say, rather than knowing that it's in your best interest to speak up for what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So, that's when bravery and courage has to come into play, where you're like, no, I deserve to be heard and I deserve to share my true feelings, even though this person may have a reaction. And that's scary for a Pisces, when they just want everyone to be happy and flowy.
Totally.
And they don't want to disrupt. But sometimes
you
gotta, and you cannot be passive about things.
Yeah. I think another kind of shadow side is like laziness, where it's like you are kind of just like, what was that thing you read where it's like a Pisces is just like just a mermaid who's just like hanging out by the beach all day. Like there's just this energy of just like chilling and just relaxing, like just like dreamland, and so I think it can be easy to just like fall into that and not want to participate in like real world stuff, which I totally understand.
They just literally want to be mermaids laying on the sand, staring into their lover's eyes, going for a nice swim.
Oh my gosh,
just literally
I'm into it,
all for it.
I want to do that too. This is a season for it. We're allowed to do it this season. But we do also have responsibilities. So
yes. Must keep our lives afloat.
Yeah.
Pisces can have this fear of being misunderstood. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying, a couple minutes ago. It's just like they don't want to disrupt. They don't want to cause waves, like I said, because they have this fear that people aren't going to understand them, because they do their intuition. This sign is the most tapped into their intuition and the most tapped into spirituality, where they have such a broad perspective on things in life that they're like, this might be too much for other people. And maybe they've gotten a reaction before where they don't want to share all of it, but unless they feel super, super safe, they're not going to open up fully.
Right. They don't necessarily want to tell you about all the woo-woo stuff that's going on in their brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
For fear of the reaction that they'll get.
Yeah, they don't want to be...
And everyone's like, okay.
You're a little kooky, but I'm all for that. Pisces can be a little confusing because they have so many emotions going on and they are so comfortable with change that they may make one decision. And then since they are based in emotion, they may flip on a dime because they're like, oh, well, I was feeling this way. Yeah.
Totally.
But now I'm switching to this. And if you don't understand, not that that's your problem, but it's like, that's where the misunderstood nature comes in, where they're like, you just don't understand me because you don't feel as deeply as me.
Totally. Yeah. And I think just anyone that's following their intuition, that can be a thing, because your path isn't really necessarily going to make sense to most people. Because like you said, it's like one day you're like, oh, I'm doing this. And then it's like, wait, that doesn't feel right. Like you're following your heart. So it's not going to always make sense. So I think, all of us can probably relate in one way or another when you start living an intuitive lifestyle. So
it can lead to maybe a little bit of indecisiveness because they are feeling so many things at once. And they're like, like, what do I choose?
Totally.
Where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah.
Which direction do I go in? I don't know.
It's like decision paralysis, where it's like you don't act because there's like too many options.
Yeah. So those are just things to be aware of as far as this time. If you're feeling the Pisces energy, doesn't even mean you have to be a Pisces. It's just like, if you're feeling like that during this season, know that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Know that maybe you need to like step back for a second, give yourself time to really sort out your emotions and, maybe apply some logic and then from there, make a decision.
Yeah. I do love, like you said, it's like, you don't necessarily have to be a Pisces to resonate with these things. Like we're talking about like this season, and what's like going to be more of a universal energy. And it's like, what I love about this season is it is a time of rest and reflection. And so no matter what your sign is, what phase of life you're in, I think it's nice because it gives you permission, if you are feeling a certain way, like it's okay to rest during this season. Like this is not the time to like really like hustle and go. Like it's okay if you need to take a break. Doesn't mean, ignore everything or like don't do your work or whatever, but like just give you that permission, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take out the hustle.
Yeah.
No need to do the hustle. Literally, as we talk, I have so many songs that pop into my
I
head.
bet.
And right now it's do the hustle.
But don't.
But don't.
But don't do the hustle.
Don't do the hustle. Oh my God. It's oh gosh, it's a problem that I have, but or is it a gift?
It's a gift and a curse.
No one fully understands me.
Oh, it's your Pisces.
I know. All right. Oh, haha. Yeah, seriously. Okay, so
what are we gonna do with the energy of this season?
How are we gonna make the most of this time?
We're gonna do a lot of stuff. We're gonna rest and relax for sure.
Actually, we're not gonna do a lot of stuff.
We're not gonna do a lot of stuff. You don't have to do anything, but here are just some suggestions besides resting, reflecting. Just don't make any big decisions during this time.
Yeah. Unless it feels good in the moment and you want to act on it, like go for it. But I guess don't put the pressure on yourself to make big decisions. If it feels right, if you have to make a big decision and you feel comfortable, go for it. But don't put the pressure on yourself to do the hustle. Just allow space for you to connect with yourself, for you to connect to source energy, whatever that means for you. Maybe whatever you feel spiritually inclined to do, allow time and space to do those things and to focus on them in a like really deep sense.
Meditate, pull out your tarot cards, do some yoga, like whatever feels good for you. Talk to your guides, do some like free journaling. Like there's so much that can go into tapping into that spiritual side.
Yes, love it. This is the time to create. Water signs naturally are very creative since they go with the flow. They can channel creativity very easily. So if you've been called to make something or to create something in your own life, maybe this is the time to do it without pressure. Just, this is another great exercise to be doing when you're by yourself is what comes up for you, what feels inspiring to make. What do you want to, take from dreamland and bring it into this land.
Let your imagination go wild.
Yes. True. So true. Embrace the changes that come during this time, just trying to, again, go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Don't fight it. Just go with it.
Try not to be like reactive to things. If you do have a situation that feels challenging or triggers you in some way, Pisces are so compassionate and empathetic, like as a sign. Like I said, they care about others before themselves. So in a moment, if you feel triggered, if you feel, like you can't process something, look at the situation and ask how you can apply compassion to this a little bit more. Like, again, every Pisces I know, they are so kind. They're such a kind, warm, loving sign. So it's like, how can we all apply a little bit more of that into the situation?
Absolutely. Agreed.
Pisces are also, I guess, okay, delete. So what I meant to say was we all have every sign within us. Our zodiac, we have the 12 houses, and it goes in so deeply on like our own internal world and how we show up to the world. But we have our three main signs. So our sun sign, our moon sign, and our rising sign that people often look at. And I feel like they just fully associate themselves with those signs. But in reality, we have each sign within us in some capacity.
Yeah.
So even if you aren't a Pisces, just understand that you have these parts within you. So knowing that you can, maybe you don't feel like you're a super compassionate person or a loving person or a go with the flow person, but this is the time to practice that because I heard it somewhere, I can't remember, but the sign that you do have that is assigned to you, the three signs you have, those are all elements for you to work on in this life. So, I'm an Aquarius with a Leo moon and a Pisces rising. A lot of the times, and Danielle's a Sagittarius sun with an Aquarius rising and a Capricorn moon.
Good job.
I almost messed it up. I got it. I switched them. And so, where those signs can kind of fall into the unbalanced energies, those are the lessons you have to work on in this life. So I just wanted to note on that. If you aren't necessarily a Pisces, I'm just bringing it up. Like, don't feel like this has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Pisces has such a beautiful energy and such a healing energy that we can all encompass in some way.
Yeah. And I love the idea that every month we can focus on these parts either that we really see in ourselves or maybe we don't and we need to work on. Like, I love that. It's like a little assignment every month. It's like, how am I going to show up to the world this month? And it's like, here's some like inspiration for some ways you can show up this month,
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to take 100% of it, but if there's a few things where it's like, oh yeah, like I really do want to show up more in a compassionate way or in a creative way, like it really gives you permission to make that kind of like a theme for the month that you can focus on.
And then by the end of the 12 months, think of like how well-rounded of a person you're going to be. Because I feel like we're in this space and time right now where people associate themselves with like one sign. They're like, I'm a Leo, I'm an Aquarius, I'm an Aries, whatever it is. And those signs can be really intense. So if you're fully like, this is who I am only this sign, and this is how I show up to the world, that can be really intense. But if you then take the perspective of, I'm actually all of the signs, and you take a little bit from each sign, like you're going to be so much more well-rounded as a person. Like,
absolutely.
You're going to have the fire in you. You're going to have the water, the earth, the air.
Because that's the whole point, is to be balanced. Like, we're not supposed to be like 100% fire, 100% water. Like, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, the point of the elements is like they all work together, like in this synergy. So yeah, how can we apply that to our own lives?
I feel like I'm just like speaking to ourselves. I'm like, I'm excited. like you said, I love these episodes because it is so reflective, like, of the time. And then like, okay, hopefully if you listen to this when it comes out, and if not, like, Pisces season will be here again later, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
For the next year. But I think really honing in on the energy at the beginning of the time of the season is so beneficial, because then you can really move through the next couple of weeks very intentionally.
Absolutely. And like we talked about earlier, this is the last sign of the zodiac. And so again, reflection, talking about that again, but maybe give yourself this time to look back at the last year. Like, where were you exactly 1 year ago? Like, what was your life like? What has changed? Like, just, look at that whole year and be like, what was that like? What do I want the next year to look like? You know? And it's kind of it's like almost like another New Year's, where you're like kind of just taking stock of everything. And it just feels like a clean slate. Like, okay, this is how I'm going to start out this new year.
Yeah. We moved at the end of last Pisces season.
Did we really?
Isn't that a trip?
That is a trip. Wow. A lot has changed.
We're packing up our studio in San Luis Obispo.
Wow.
Like last week of Pisces last year.
That's a trip.
Wow. Anyway, as you're saying that, I just applied it to our life and I was like, whoa. Talk about some change. So yeah, embrace the change, practice going with the flow. Maybe you're more rigid at times in life usually, and you're like, okay, now I really have to, it can be really clunky and you can get really like frustrated because you don't want to go with the flow and you're like, oh, I hate this. But just try it out. That's the whole part of this time and us talking about this.
Be open-minded. I think that's another way to look at it. Like, just don't be afraid to look at things a little bit differently, you know?
Yeah. Embrace whatever you are feeling. Be aware of it, you know. Make sure you're not teetering on the irrational side of life. If you're feeling
good advice,
you know, don't fall into delusion, because that can also be a thing here. Where you're so heavily motivated by what you're feeling that you are not taking into perspective that other people have their own experiences. So it's okay and it's important to share what you're feeling and to embrace those emotions, but don't project them onto other people.
Yeah. Whatever you're feeling, even if it's not the best feelings in the world, like, allow yourself to experience them. Don't try and numb them. Don't try and distract yourself. Like, even if it's just for a little bit, even if you can only feel it for a little bit, and then you're like, okay, now I need to go watch a show, or I need to scroll on TikTok or whatever, like, that's okay. But make sure you're leaving space to feel them and you're not completely ignoring anything that comes up. Yeah.
learning from your relationships. Pisces value their connection to others and how others feel. They really value knowing that they are making others feel good, and they really want to make sure you're feeling comfortable. So, how can you learn from those relationships that you have with others that you appreciate so deeply and that you love on so deeply? Look at the relationships in your life and say, like, what does this person have to teach me? Because then you honor each relationship so much, even if maybe it's a relationship you don't love and you just are in it, because we all have those relationships in life where you're like, why was I placed with this person in my life? Why do I have this person showing up constantly? Yeah. And it's like, because there's a lesson there. So being able to appreciate other people in your life and appreciate the connection, whether that's good or bad, you have with that person.
Appreciate them for all sides of themselves, even if it's not all good.
And then learning that lesson, because I know I've talked about this in the past. It's the whole point of life is learning lessons so you can elevate to the highest evolution that you are. And until you learn the lessons, you're going to keep hitting roadblocks that put you in similar situations to figure out what's going on.
Absolutely. Well said.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you.
I just feel like that was so profound. And my next thought was like, do something in water. I feel so silly, but do something in water. Jump in the ocean, take a bath, embrace that water sign.
That's probably why I love baths.
Oh, 100,000,000%.
It's my Pisces.
Yeah, your little mermaid self is like, I've been on land for too long. I need to get in the water.
God, I love baths. I'm just smiling ear to ear thinking about baths.
Maybe we need to jump in the ocean.
Oh, cold.
I know, but it'll be good.
Well, and Sean, your boyfriend just got me a float at the float tank.
Yeah.
For my birthday.
It's a good month to go float.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting like fully distracted.
We're just thinking of all the water things.
Let's do that.
There's a place to swim laps by our house that we have never gone to.
I still want to do that.
Maybe we should go swimming.
I still want to do that.
So many water activities. I know, I do too. I also love being in the water.
Oh my God, Danielle loves the water.
I would just live in it if I could.
Danielle turns into like a 5-year-old dolphin. How long do dolphins live? I don't know. But like a human 5-year-old mixed with dolphin energy is Danielle. The first time we went to the ocean together, where it's like, Santa Cruz. I mean, we've gone to the ocean before.
Yeah.
But Santa Cruz Ocean,
it's chilly
and pretty like choppy waves. And Danielle we did like a little cold plunge. I'm like in and out. Like that was fun. And I like turn around and you were just like jumping around and like doing flips in the water and like literally talk about your mermaid self. Jeez. You love it. You're out there for like 25 minutes. I'm like, okay, Danielle, like it's been enough time out there. What are you doing?
Like, I guess I'll come in now.
Literally. So, oh my God, I'm like, it's freezing. But to each their own.
You just get numb enough that you just don't feel anything anymore.
Oh my God. You just have the biggest grin on your face. You're just like, talk about inner child work. Oh my gosh.
So that'll be my work for the month. Spend as much time in water as possible, because that's always a good month.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just practice using your intuition as much as you can. I know. Listen to the episode before this.
Also, I know it's a little early to drop this. We normally drop this at the very end of the episode. But if you want our intuition course, which goes even deeper into the intuition, and it's absolutely amazing, 35-page handbook, over 2 hours of video, all you got to do is leave us a review on the podcast, whatever you want to say.
On the iTunes podcast app.
Thank you for being more specific. And then send us a screenshot either by email, theauthenticsouls@gmail.com, or @theauthenticsouls on Instagram, just to let us know that you did it, so we have some proof. And then we will literally send the intuition course to you for free. This is the month to do it, you guys.
Literally.
This is the month of intuition. So
cue the air horns.
Send this to you. We want to. We just got to know who wants it. You just got to want it, and then we'll send it.
Who wants it? You get a car. You get a car. You get an intuition course. We're like Oprah.
Yeah, I love that.
Look under your seat, everyone.
It's an intuition course.
Oh, well.
If we ever do a live show, we can't give away our secrets.
There will maybe be something under your
Maybe
seat.
there'll be something under your seat. I don't know.
Oh my
We
gosh.
have to have an event first. Anyway, yeah. So sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
So we're talking
Anyway,
about
to wrap it
intuition.
up, Pisces season is a reminder that honoring your emotions, your compassion, and your belief in something bigger than yourself, it doesn't have to make you silly or weak. It can teach you new ways to face the world and make you stronger than ever. So, your emotions are a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
They do not make you weak or lesser than because you aren't seeing things as rigid and strictly as other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's something that I've really learned over the past couple of years is like your sensitivities, like I said, are a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you superhuman. You're able to feel things that other people can't feel. So I think it would be a great month for all of us to tap into our emotions, see what we're feeling inside,
Mm-hmm.
and how can we share that with the world in a very compassionate, loving, soft way.
Yeah, we'll all just be little mermaids, just showering everyone with love.
Oh my gosh, I love it though. Who loves? Don't you know those people? Literally, don't you know those people that literally look like mermaids? How much you want to bet
Mermaid
they're Pisces?
Yeah.
Or it's more the opposite. Every Pisces looks like a mermaid. I swear to you, in some way, in their own individualistic way.
Yeah.
They have really beautiful, intense eyes, and they give mermaid energy or
Mhm.
merman energy or merthey energy.
Perfect. Love that.
Merthey. All
All
right.
Thank you for listening this week. We had a lot of fun. That was great. I love these episodes. Like we need to like double up, like 2 astrology episodes a month. No, that doesn't make
No,
sense.
I like it's spaced out nicely
No, I
because
agree.
you have the time to now reflect and
Mhm.
apply
Absolutely.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. I hope you had a great time hanging with your friends, Savannah and Danielle. I just said friend, like we're one person.
Go do some reflection, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.